After Boxer Rebellion, another important revolution took place under the leadership of Dr. Sun Yat-sen in 1911 against the Manchu dynasty. And this revolution ended the monarchy in China. And after the revolution, a Kuomintang party established a republican government in southern China under the leadership of Dr. Sun Yat-sen. He gave importance to three ideologies, such as nationalism, to expel the Manchu dynasty and the imperial powers, democracy, to establish a democratic rule, and socialism, to control capital and distribute land equally. Now let us discuss and understand the reforms introduced by Dr. Sun Yat-sen in China after the revolution. Reforms by Sun Yat-sen. He entered the monarchy and Manchu dynasty rule in China, formed a republican government by Kuomintang party, and he strengthened the ideologies like nationalism, democracy, and socialism. He decided to nullify the unjust treaties signed with the foreign countries and wanted to maintain equality with the Western countries. The Kuomintang Republic adopted measures for the progress of agriculture and industry. China received assistance from Russia in various fields, and the Chinese Communist Party was formed. In the beginning, the Kuomintang and the Communists cooperated each other. Dear students, now let us discuss what were the circumstances that led to another revolution in China. As we earlier discussed, in the beginning, the Kuomintang and the Communists cooperated each other. But this cooperation was disturbed when Chiang Kai shek became the head of the republic following the death of Sun Yat sen. Chiang Kai shek maintained a military autocracy in China. He gave opportunity for foreign powers, including America, to freely interfere in China and did not cooperate with the communists. Coal and iron industries, banking, and foreign trade were all controlled by foreign countries. So this led to the protest by the communists against the policy of Chiang Kai shek, and they were brutally suppressed. Now let us discuss the role played by Mao Zedong, the another leader, to make China a people's republic. At that time, Mao Zedong rose to the leadership of Communist Party. In 1934, under the leadership of Mao Zedong, a journey started from Guangxi in South China. The adventurous trip ended at Yan'an in northwestern China. Throughout the journey, they seized out agricultural land and villages from lords and distributed them among the farmers. The journey covered around 12,000 kilometers, so it is known as the Long March. Hence, Mao Zedong and the Communist Party became the symbol of struggle of the Chinese against foreign power. Chiang Kai shek had to seek political asylum in Taiwan when the Red Army of Mao Zedong captured the center of Kuomintang rule, and China became the People's Republic of China on 1st October 1949 under the leadership of Mao Zedong. Dear students, we discussed about several revolutions such as the American War of Independence, the French Revolution, the Latin American Revolution, the Russian Revolution, and the Chinese Revolution, which were carried out by the people in different parts of the world who were deprived of freedom. Now it's your work. You compare the revolutions that took place in America, Europe, and Asia, and complete the table. Hi students, good morning. Hope you are fine and safe. In the previous class, we have learned how the enslaved natives of Latin America led revolutions under the leadership of Jose de San Martin, Francisco Miranda, and Simon Bolivar, and how they became independent under their leadership. Today, we are going to discuss about the another important revolution that took place in Russia, that is the Russian Revolution. This revolution starts with a few words of one of the characters in the novel The Mother, written by the world famous Russian writer Maxim Gorky. Let us go through the words of this novel. So, when we analyze the words in the novel, The Mother, we can easily understand the plight of workers and farmers in Russia, and their aims are reflected in them. And also from this, we can understand the demands of the workers. What were their demands? Abolish the private property system. Everyone has to work. Abolish the exploitation and the power in the hands of the people, etc. And now we can also analyze the circumstances that led to this revolution from this novel. What were the circumstances that led to demand so? Oh, what were the circumstances that led to Russian Revolution? Russian Revolution circumstances. Autocratic rule of Tsar emperors in Russia, and the farmers and factory workers in Russia led a tragic life under their rule. And though Russia was rich in natural resources, their industrial production was very low, and the low agricultural production affected the farmers' income, and they had to pay high tax to the rulers, and foreign involvement in the industrial sector, and the influence of writers and philosophers. Writers like Maxim Gorky, Leo Tolstoy, Ivan Tartnov, and Anton Chekhov depicted the plight of the workers and farmers in their works. And Marxist ideologies also influenced the revolutionaries for such a revolution. And the Marxist ideologies formulated by Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels stirred the workers. Based on the Marxist ideologies, the Socialist Democratic Workers' Party was formed in Russia. Later, this party was split into the Mensheviks, minority, and the Bolsheviks, the majority. Alexander Kerensky led the Mensheviks, and Lenin and Trotsky led the Bolsheviks. Dear students, now let us discuss the major events that led to the formation of USSR, that is Union of Soviet Socialist Republic. It started from Bloody Sunday, and that led to the formation of the Soviets, which led to the creation of Duma, and that led to first important revolution in Russia, that is the February Revolution, and there is a provisional government formed due to this February Revolution. And another important revolution took place in Russia against the provisional government, that is the October Revolution. After the October Revolution, that led to the formation of Union of Soviet Socialist Republic. Now, let us discuss each event in detail which led to the formation of USSR. The crisis reached its worst when Russia was defeated in the Russia Japan War in 1905. The workers organized a huge march at Petrograd on 9th January 1905, demanding political rights and economic reforms. What happened? The march was fired at by the soldiers, and hundreds of demonstrators were massacred during this time. This event is known as the Bloody Sunday. After the Bloody Sunday, the workers' organizations were formed all over Russia to conduct strikes against the atrocities of the rulers. These workers' organizations called the Soviets. As a result of the formation of Soviets, the strikes gained massive strength in Russia. So the emperor was compelled to form a legislative assembly. It is called Duma. Now, let us analyze the circumstances that led to February Revolution, or let us analyze the circumstances that led to form a provisional government in Russia. Ignoring the protest from Duma, Nicholas II, the then Tsar, decided to participate in the First World War that started in 1914. A lot of Russian soldiers were killed in this war. Food shortage became severe by 1917. Thousands of women marched along the streets of Petrograd on 8th March 1917, clamoring for bread. The workers organized protest march in Petrograd. Though the soldiers clashed with the demonstrators in the beginning, later they also joined the workers. Why? Because it was a tragic experience during the First World War that induced the soldiers to do so. The workers captured Petrograd, and the Nicholas II was thrown out of power. And what was the effect? A provisional government was formed under Alexander Kerensky, the Menshevik leader. Since the Russian calendar was a few days behind the international calendar, this revolution that took place in March came to be known as the February Revolution. Dear students, now let us discuss the role of the October Revolution in establishing the proletariat or workers' government in Russia. A group of Soviets did not approve of the provisional government under Alexander Kerensky. Vladimir Lenin, who had been in Switzerland, came to Russia and strongly opposed the provisional government. He argued that the entire power should be transferred to the Soviets if they were realized the aims of the revolution. The Bolsheviks and the Soviets supported Lenin. They propagated that only the proletarians or workers' government could eradicate centuries old economic backwardness and inequality. And they put forward several demands. What were their demands? Withdraw Russia from the First World War, seize the lands owned by the lords and distribute them among the farmers, make factories public property. In October 1917, the Bolsheviks organized an armed rebellion against the provisional government. As a result, Kerensky fled from the country and Russia came under the control of the Bolsheviks. This event, through which the Bolsheviks attained power, is known as the October Revolution. Subsequently, a convention of the Soviets was held and a cabinet was formed with Lenin as its head. Dear students, we understood how the October Revolution paved the way for establishing the proletariat or workers' government in Russia. Now we are going through the results of Russian Revolution. Russia withdrew from the First World War. He seized out the land and distributed among the peasants. He gave importance to public sector. He introduced generalized planning, achieved develops in the field of science, technology, and economy. A new constitution came into force in 1924. Union of Soviet Socialist Republic, that is USSR, was formed by consolidating different Soviet republics and spread the socialist ideas all over the world. Hi students, we have discussed about the causes and effects of Russian Revolution. Now we are going to discuss about the causes and effects of the Chinese Revolution. In the 20th century, China witnessed revolutions against the foreign rule and monarchy. The colonial powers of Europe and America adopted policies in China different from the ones they had implemented in the colonies of other parts of the world. What was that different? They were the opium trade and open door policy. Let us discuss and analyze the strategies adopted by the colonial powers in China with the strategies that they adopted in other countries. The first strategy was opium trade. China gained huge profit through the export of the items such as silk, tea, and earthenware. And there was nothing to import to China from Europe. As a result, the European traders suffered a great loss. So, as a remedy for this loss, the British traders imported opium, an intoxicant, to China. This affected the Chinese trade, and its consumption made the Chinese people mentally imbalanced. And what was the result? It resulted in economic and mental subjugation of the Chinese. Another strategy was the open door policy. By the end of the 19th century, several European countries acquired trade privileges in China. America could not acquire the privilege as it was not concerned about China at that time. But to acquire the privilege, John Hay, the then State Secretary of the USA, proclaimed the open door policy. What was the clause of this policy? As per this policy, America argued for equal rights and opportunities for all countries in Chinese market. And China was divided into different regions to be controlled by various countries. The aim of this policy was to create an opportunity for the USA to interfere in China. Dear students, now you understood the strategies adopted by the colonial powers in China with the strategies that they adopted in other colonies. That is, through opium trade and open door policy, all the European countries, including America, easily conquered China for their own interest. Now let us discuss the various events took place in China for becoming a republican country. Dear students, China has been ruled by several dynasties during this period. And the last dynasty ruled in China was the Manchu dynasty. And this dynasty favored the foreign interference and domination in China. So, what happened? Some secret organizations in China revolted against it in 1900. The emblem of these organizations was the boxer's fist. So, this is known as the Boxer Rebellion. Though this rebellion was a failure, it stimulated the revolutions that came up later.